Cortado? Is that like a coffee?
A cortado? Is that like a coffee? One simple question that sparked South Park's most brutal takedown of the housing market. When city people start turning South Park into their personal hipster paradise, even Eric Cartman becomes a real estate agent. And if Cartman's trying to sell you a house, you know the market's completely screwed.
Now, whatever you do, don't tell anybody. If anyone else finds out about this, they'll all want to be real estate agents too.
Back in 1970, the average American home cost about $27,000. That's around $213,000 today. The kind of price that lets your average working stiff buy a house with just a couple years of savings. Fast forward to our current nightmare, where $400,000 barely gets you a starter home, and you'll need 7 years of income just to think about buying. That's assuming some Tesla-driving, MacBook-toting city slicker doesn't swoop in with an all-cash offer while you're still counting your pennies. South Park nails this housing nightmare in the most South Park way possible by turning Eric Cartman into the world's most unreasonable real estate agent.
Get out of that sewage drain you call a city and start living the country life you've always wanted. South Park Realty Group.
When city people start flooding into town, driving up rent prices, Cartman's mom needs a new job. Her solution? Real estate.
Well, I don't have much experience, but I thought I'd give real estate a try.
Cartman's response:
I'm your job.
what job could you possibly have?
You don't know how to do anything!
Like any good narcissistic son who can't stand his mom having a life beyond him, Cartman decides to sabotage her new career. When destroying her self-esteem doesn't work, Cartman goes full Cartman. If his mom can be a real estate agent, he'll become one too and prove how stupid the whole thing is.
If my mom can be a real estate agent, then literally anyone in the world can.
Turns out the real estate market is so broken that even Eric Cartman can become an agent.
What are you up to?
I got a job as a real estate agent, ma'am.
Just cross your arms, lean back until your spine's about to snap, take a photo, and boom.
That's good, we got it.
You're a qualified real estate agent, all set to destroy the housing dreams of an entire generation. South Park didn't just roast the housing bubble, they nuked it from orbit. The town's descent into real estate madness starts with one simple problem. Nobody's building new houses anymore.
Just isn't fair.
Why? Because 75% of America's residential land is locked into single-family zoning. It's like having a pizza party where 3/4 of the pizzas are reserved for people who preserve neighborhood character. Mike Hesser Sepoy, aka keeping out anyone who can't afford $1 million mortgage. Enter the city people cooing about their precious Leiqua and demanding places to plug in their MacBooks. They're basically human pigeons with Tesla key fobs, flocking to small towns because they've been priced out of their own overpriced cities.
Cortado? Bottled water?
Wi-Fi? Pilates?
When Cartman shows up uninvited at Token's house offering $4 million, it's not just typical Cartman chaos. It's exactly how real estate bubbles inflate.
I think I can get you $4 million for this place.
$4 million? Really?
I'll be in touch.
The Chamber of Commerce loves it all, of course.
People, this is the most exciting time in the history of South Park. As you know, there are people from all over the country leaving the cities and coming to small rural towns like ours.
First, they tried building Sodosoa, an entire hipster district using Kenny's poverty as authentic local charm.
Hey, what are you people doing?
We're gentrifying. It's all good.
When that failed spectacularly,
Stuart, come on, your house sucks.
Fuck you!
they welcomed these city people with open arms.
Like a dream come true, Nelson. This area's gonna put our town on the map.
I've always dreamed of South Park becoming more than a little hick town, the mayor gushes,
I've always dreamed of South Park becoming more than a little hick town.
completely missing how this invasion prices out actual residents. Real estate agents perfect their sales pitch,
It's a 2,300 square foot mid-colonial home, detached garage.
which is simply translation for it's a regular house with a shed, but will use fancy words to justify that extra zero on the price tag. Randy Marsh takes it further, suggesting the same open concept, renovation to every single buyer until he finally hits a load-bearing wall, perfectly capturing how the entire industry tries to force the same cookie-cutter improvements on every property. Meanwhile, foreign investors and giant corporations are swooping in like Kenny's death clock, inevitable and brutal. They're not buying homes to live in. They're treating neighborhoods like monopoly boards. Just like South Park's city people, they don't care about community. They care about investment potential. The result? Regular families get priced out faster than Cartman can say, "Respect my property values." The show captures this perfectly through Mr. Kim's storyline. His city walk loses customers to Soda Sopa's fancy restaurants,
What the fuck?
forcing him to create Sittapa Town, city part of town, just to survive. His accented transformation of city people into shitty people
These shitty people come with their fancy shitty clothes and their big shitty cars.
isn't just a joke. It's a commentary on how gentrification destroys local businesses and communities while pretending to improve them. The absurdity of South Park's housing crisis reaches new heights when investment firms start treating the town like their personal monopoly board. Just like Blackstone in real life, they swoop in, outbid local buyers,
Kitty Walk, take an order, please.
and turn entire neighborhoods into rental properties. Makes Cartman's $4 million offers look almost reasonable by comparison. What started with revitalization projects like Soto Sopa quickly morphs into something darker. The town's marketing goes full dystopian with commercials showing wealthy couples gazing at Kenny's family through their luxury apartment windows. Experience the rustic charm of poverty from your state-of-the-art deck spa. It's gentrification tourism at its finest, or worst, depending on which side of the viewing glass you're on. The real estate feeding frenzy attracts everyone from foreign millionaires to tech bros fleeing high-tax states. As one real estate agent puts it, just listed, pending sale, multiple offers, over asking, before their spine finally gives out from that signature-leaning pose. South Park perfectly captures how housing stopped being about homes and turned into a high-stakes gambling game. Property values spiral so out of control that even PC principal can't check their privilege. The town's original residents find themselves priced out faster than you can say diverse urban experience. Local businesses that survive decades can't handle the rent hikes, except for Whole Foods, which somehow ends up in the Sidipa town after Soto Sopa collapses. The irony gets thicker than Cartman's ego when the city people start complaining about losing the town's authentic character. You know, the character they destroyed by moving there in the first place. They wanted small-town charm with big city amenities, ending up with neither. It's like ordering a vegan burger at City Walk, missing the point entirely. Remember when houses were for living in? South Park shows us how that quaint idea died. By the time the mayor realizes her more than a little hicktown dream is actually a nightmare, it's too late.
People, we have a giant problem. There are now so many city people looking for houses in South Park that it could destroy our rebounding economy.
The housing market has mutated into something more terrifying than that time Kenny became a zombie princess. The town's solution, declaring open season on real estate agents, might seem extreme, but is it really crazier than a system where basic shelter has become a luxury good?
I see one. There's a real estate agent right there.
When Cartman ends up living in a hot dog stand, it's not just karmic justice. It's a warning about where this whole mess is heading.
We have everything we need here. We've got running water, a couch to sleep on, and most important, we have each other.
Between investment firms buying entire blocks, foreign billionaires parking their money in empty houses, and tech workers fleeing expensive cities, small towns everywhere are turning into South Parks. And not the fun, cartoon kind. The kind where community is just a buzzword to justify $10 lattes. While South Park ends its housing crisis with broken-spined real estate agents and fleeing city people, our real-world version keeps getting worse. San Francisco approves only 16 new houses in 6 months for a city of 800,000 people. That's not just bad math. It's economic suicide, with a side of artisanal sourdough. The show's final message hits harder than reality itself. When Cartman, South Park's resident sociopath, can't even game this system without ending up in a condiment-plumbed hot dog stand, what chance do regular families have? As housing transforms from a basic need into an investment vehicle, we're all just extras in someone else's property portfolio. Maybe that's why South Park's take on the housing crisis feels so real. We're building a world where having a roof over your head depends less on what you do for a living, and more on whether you got into the market before it went completely insane. And if that doesn't make you want to declare open season on real estate agents, nothing will.